Hello everyone. We are back on the bike. We are in Makuri Island. We are doing the 3 village loop, and we saw that on Makuri Island we have only a total of 4 routes left that we haven't done yet. So this is the first one, the 3 village loop, then the Kappa Quest, the Kappa Quest reverse, as well as the Spirit Forest. Yeah, we'll see if we can knock them out of the park all today. That would be nice, but as always, we are not very desperate about getting stuff done. If it happens, great. If it doesn't happen, also fine. It would be nice to take off another world. So far, we've completed Yorkshire and just yesterday New York. And yeah, it would just be nice to have Makuri Island also done. I mentioned that in the previous video that we'll take our time with Watopia, because Watopia is always available, so there's no pressure to do these things right away. And yeah, that's why we'll probably leave that towards the end, or when there are only any worlds available that we already completed. Yeah, so this one is less than 100 vertical meters, 10.5K. So we'll take this actually as a warm-up. Easy pedaling, trying to stick at around maybe 130 watts, which is what my Garmin was telling me this morning, that I should try to do a little over an hour at 130. Yeah, we'll probably have to split that into a warm-up, what we are planning on doing here. Just very easy going, and maybe then take a slightly longer ride. The Kappa Quest, for instance, I think has 23 kilometers. So maybe we do that. We should also be done with this in less than an hour, but then maybe we'll stay on the course a little longer, or yeah, I'm not quite sure yet. Also, I was actually debating on jumping onto a race later, simply because yeah, it really itches me. I really would like to get back into racing, because I think this is really where it's at. This is where Zwift really shines. It's yeah, such a great tool to have if you're sitting at home and you're feeling like, yeah, a little bit away from your friends, from society, from your family. Then this is a great way to keep in touch with people, and you know, to at least have some sort of social life, even though I'm fully aware of that this is virtual, but you know, better than nothing. Anyhow, so we are just trying to finish this and get the route badge. I think Makuri Island is open for today and tomorrow, and then it will rotate to some other worlds. And yeah, so it would be nice to have that done today. Also, I tried something new with my Kicker bike today. For those who saw my other videos, they probably realized that at some point during the rides there were some issues with connectivity, and I'm still not sure if this had to do anything with my internet or the connection to the bike or my, I don't know, Bluetooth, but yeah, so I went into the settings of the bike just to see if the firmware is up to date, and it was. And then thought about changing my available gears for the bike. So when I set up the bike, I used a 2x compact, which is 50 and 34 in the front for the chain rings, and then a rear cassette going from 10 to 32. And on some very, very steep sections, like in New York, there are some very short sections that are beyond 15%, or going up even, I think, beyond 17%. Yeah, I figured, or I felt that sometimes, especially if you don't want to put out a lot of power, you're reaching a limit quite rather quickly, where you either grind the gears or your power just goes up, or both. And so I reached out to a friend of mine. For those who have been following me, they know him. He's one of the sweepers from the Cycle Nation ride, Jack, living in Singapore with his wife Jing. Very nice guy. And I know that he also does have a Wahoo Kicker bike. And so I just asked him what he's using for his gearing. And he essentially said he uses a 3x. And I briefly thought about this when setting up the bike, but decided against it because, well, it is different to the bike that I have at home, or to the bikes that I have at home. They are 2x. Granted, they are mountain bikes, but still, I figured it might be, yeah, too different and would maybe bug me. So I instead went for a 2x, and then I think extended the cassette to 33. And then thought of, what if I do a 35 and then adjust the other gears accordingly? But he essentially said, why would you do that? There's no weight penalty. There's, yeah, it might be different to your bike in real life, but you're setting up your Wahoo Kicker bike to do training to get better. And wouldn't it make sense, if there's no weight penalty, to simply have the widest range of gears? And that made sense to me. So I decided to give it a whirl. And I'm using now a 3x setup, where I want to say it's a 50, 52, 40, 30, or somewhere around there, with the standard, I think, 1032 in the back, or 1033. So when I look down here on my bike for the for the gear that I'm in. I'm still slightly getting slightly confused because it shows me now that I'm in gear 2, 4. So the second ring in the front and the fourth in the back. Now in the fifth. And that used to be my gear for the flats, where I do essentially, 85 RPM on the flats, going 36, 38 kilometers an hour. And now I'm using it on 3-4% climb. So it will require a little bit of adjustment, but I think we'll be able to deal with this rather quickly. At least I hope so. And so the idea is to essentially use the second chain ring in the front and play out the rear cassette for anything from going downhill to climbing, and only if needed then adjust the front ring either to a smaller chain ring for steep climb sections, or for a higher number of teeth on the chain ring if I know that we are only going to be on the flats and or potentially just going downhill. So I'll let you know how I feel about this. So far so good, but it's also not been a really challenging course, this one here. So let's give some ride-ons. Oh, maybe he already received a ride-on from us because the blue thumbs up didn't show. Speaking of thumbs up, please feel free to give a thumbs up for this video if you like it. I'm sure it would help, as would subscribing to the channel, as would leaving comments. So please feel free. This is a very, very new channel. I do try to put out a video every time I'm on the bike, which at the moment is every day or multiple times per day. I certainly don't want to spam people, but to be honest, at the moment it's more like a trial and error thing for me to see what works best, what I enjoyed the most. If it's like those easy rides out where we are hunting down route badges, or if it is the races that I hope to be getting into very soon again. Yeah. Yeah, I really do like the Makuri Island. Very beautifully made. Seems to offer something for everyone, from climbs to beautiful views. Here on the left hand side, these old Japanese style castles, lots of greenery, but of course there's also the island aspect of it, where you're close to the water, sandy beaches. It does have some quite challenging climbs as well, which of course for the avid climber amongst you is probably what you choose. I can't wait to see what Zwift is going to do with all of these worlds. If there might be some links at some point where you can actually ride from one world into another. I'm sure there are some people who would be interested in, you know, doing all the crazy climbs in one go, from Alpe to Zwift, potentially Mont Ventoux, Mount Fujiyama, if they ever bring that up. So yeah, excited to be part of this journey, and really looking forward to seeing what'll happen next. So we have a guy coming up quite fast behind us, an English guy, and we'll try to time it that we'll give a ride on when he's just zooming by. There you go. Yeah, he's going at more than 3 watts per kilo, which is quite a speed, or quite a power that he's putting out. Again, for us, we'll try to maintain the 130-ish range, which in our case is about 1.7 watts per kilo. Maybe a little less than that, 1.65 or so. But yeah, I really don't know what to do after this, right? If I should continue ticking off routes, or if I should maybe get on a race. Really not sure. So as I said, once this is done, then there's only 3 more routes left on Makuri Island. The Kappa Quest Reverse, and the Spirit Forest, which I think in total is maybe 65k or so. I think the Kappas are about 25 max, so that would be 50. And the Spirit Forest, I want to say it's about 15. So yeah, maybe 65, which would be a nice distance to cover. Also, I have a friend back in town. He moved to Beijing earlier this year for work, but his family, his parents are in Baoding, so he's back for Chinese New Year, and he was sending me a message yesterday asking if I wanted to go and play badminton. Now, I haven't played for a long time, and I know that if I were to go, that would really hurt tomorrow, because my brain would still tell me to go for certain shots that my body is maybe not able to go for. So yeah, not quite sure what I will do about that. But so that's why it's important for me to get all the biking in and be done with this, because this is definitely my priority at the moment. So on average, we are now bang on 130, which again is just so nice to have this Garmin watch and the customizability of that watch to set up your data screens, to keep an eye on all these different things. It's just so nice. Yeah, I've been on this part quite often, but I think this is part of most of the of this extension, going through the old Japanese styled villages. Yeah, I really do enjoy that extension, that world. Yeah, I'm also trying to knock out a couple of kilometers early this week, because on the weekend I will be in Beijing, so I won't be able to upload or to write anything, which means Thursday is probably going to be the last time I'll write for this week, and then I'll be back in Baoding on Monday, which I think is the last day of the month, but late on Monday. So I'm not sure if I will then have the power to get on the bike, but we'll see. So let's give another ride on to a fellow Dane. All right. So now we are coming to the end of this short little ride. We'll, of course, then stop at 11 kilometers, because we do want those extra 20 XP points. So let's see if we are able to unlock that route badge. We should, and then we'll move on to the next route, and I'm sure I will see you then. All right, so let's see. There we go. Route unlocked, 210 points. We'll use the power up right away, because we will stop at 11. And yeah, with that, I hope you enjoyed that little ride. Check out the next ones. They will be a little bit longer, so hope you enjoyed this one. And as always, ride hard, have fun, tight cycling. So let's just tip over the 11 kilometers. There we go. So now we'll stop and have a lovely Monday, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye bye.